A Mario superfan spent 6 years meticulously analyzing the Mario canon, covering over 200 titles and every piece of lore related to the entire Mario universe, including all of the beloved characters. With years of work invested, we now have the complete Mario canon timeline. In this video, we'll take a closer look at Seán D. Walsh's timeline and show you how all the pieces fit together, exploring the rich history of the Mario universe beyond just the classic platformers and RPGs. Let's dive in and discover the full story of Mario and his friends. The Super Mario timeline begins with the birth of Mario and Luigi as they are carried by a stork away from the magical land where babies come from. As they journey towards their new home, they arrive at Yoshi's Island, where they soon find themselves embroiled in a quest to save the island from the evil Kamek. This adventure takes place in Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, and its Game Boy Advance remake, Yoshi's Island Super Mario Advance 3. This marks the first time that Mario and Luigi appear in the Mario universe, placing this game prior to all other games featuring the brothers. Continuing from their adventures on Yoshi's Island, Mario and Luigi find themselves once again in the care of the stork as they journey towards their new home in the Mushroom Kingdom. The events of Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, are continued in Yoshi's New Island, which picks up right where the previous game left off. In this game, Mario and Luigi are finally delivered to their parents in Mushroom Kingdom by the end of the adventure. With their journey now complete, the brothers are free to explore the Mushroom Kingdom and continue their heroic endeavors. In Yoshi, Touch and Go, the story takes a bit of a turn as we see Kamek, the evil Magic Koopa, making a last-ditch effort to kidnap Baby Mario and Baby Luigi. However, Kamek is unable to capture the babies, and they are left to roam free. It's worth noting that the events of Yoshi Touch and Go must take place prior to the ending of Yoshi's New Island, as the babies still haven't been delivered to their correct home. Yoshi's Island DS takes place sometime after the events of Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, Yoshi Touch and Go, and Yoshi's New Island. In this game, Baby Mario and Baby Luigi are kidnapped from their home in Mushroom Kingdom, and it's up to Yoshi and his new friends to rescue them. One notable difference in this game is the speech of Baby Bowser, which is more advanced than in Super Mario World 2 and Yoshi's New Island. This places Yoshi's Island DS after the events of those titles. Interestingly, Baby Bowser does not recall who Baby Mario is when they meet in the game, indicating that they haven't started interacting regularly yet. At the end of the game, Baby Yoshi is born, adding another adorable character to the Mario universe. In the game Vermin, we see 6 Yoshi eggs appear, which could potentially be the same eggs that hatch in the game Yoshi's Story. One of these eggs is likely to be Yoshi, the lovable green dinosaur who has become a fan favorite. Yoshi's story begins with the hatching of 6 Yoshi eggs, which may be the same eggs seen in Vermin. One of these eggs hatched into the iconic green dinosaur, Yoshi. Interestingly, this game also features a more advanced speech from Baby Bowser, indicating that it takes place after the events of Super Mario World 2 and Yoshi's New Island. Additionally, Baby Bowser knows Mario by name in this game, placing it after the events of Yoshi's Island DS. Greenhouse, a lesser-known Mario game, features what appears to be the same Yoshi from Vermin. In Mario and Luigi, Partners in Time, we see Baby Mario and Baby Luigi all grown up, and now toddlers. This places the game after the events that happened in the previous 4 games. Baby Bowser also makes an appearance in this game with more advanced speech than in Super Mario World 2 and Yoshi's New Island. This further places the game after the events of those titles. The game follows the adventure of both the adult and toddler version of Mario and Luigi as they travel back in time to stop an alien invasion. So obviously this focuses on the past toddler version in this case. After the events of this game, Mario and Luigi are said to move to New Donk City. Mario Bombs Away is a game that sees Mario taking part in a war. This event likely happened prior to his time as a worker in the city and as a hero in the Mushroom Kingdom. In the classic game Mario Bros, we see Mario and Luigi working together in a bottle factory. It's clear that this is a temporary job, placing it before their later construction work. In the end, Mario and Luigi are fired by their boss, setting the stage for their future adventures as heroic plumbers in the Mushroom Kingdom. Mario's cement factory takes place in New Donk City, where Mario works at a cement factory. Interestingly, this factory may be the same or connected to the one from Donkey Kong's 50M stage, placing this game around the same time as Mario's work on the construction site. In Donkey Kong Circus, we see Mario attending a circus near the construction site where Donkey Kong is performing. During this show, Mario can be seen laughing at Donkey Kong's act, much to the frustration of the giant ape. Greenhouse is a lesser-known Mario game that features Stanley, who maintains his greenhouse. The event likely takes place prior to the events of Donkey Kong 3. As for where this game fits into the larger Mario timeline, it could potentially take place anywhere between the events of Mario moving to New Donk City and the events of Donkey Kong 3. Donkey Hockey is a game that takes place before Donkey Kong Arcade and Donkey Kong Game Boy, as Donkey Kong has not yet run away from the city or been caged up yet. However, the game likely takes place after Donkey Kong Circus, as DK and Mario are shown to know each other at this point. Both versions of Donkey Kong feature a similar plot, with DK kidnapping Mario's girlfriend, Pauline, likely due to the events of Donkey Kong Circus. In both games, DK can be seen climbing up a construction site, possibly the same one from Wrecking Crew. The Game & Watch Donkey Kong has the same plot as the arcade Donkey Kong, taking place while Mario is still a carpenter and while Pauline is his girlfriend. This likely places it at the same time as Donkey Kong Arcade. Donkey Kong Jr. is a game that likely takes place before the events of the arcade version of the game, as Mario takes a much more laid-back approach to capturing DK in this game. Instead of putting him into a cage, he simply chains him up in the forest. One interesting detail to note is that DK Jr. has his umbrella in the game, which he also uses in the arcade version. Donkey Kong Jr. is a direct sequel to the arcade version of Donkey Kong, as Mario locks DK in a cage for what he did in that game and brings him back to New Donk City. In this game, DK Jr. sets his father free, and they both run away, beating Mario. On the other hand, Donkey Kong 2 is a game that likely takes place simultaneously with the ending of the arcade version of Donkey Kong Jr., as it depicts the same events as the game's final level. The game is described as a continuation of the famous Donkey Kong story, with Mario having saved the beautiful girl from DK and now having chained him up. Donkey Kong 3 is a game that likely takes place after the events of the arcade version of Donkey Kong Jr., as the Kongs are attempting to get home. And this game takes place on an island relatively close to Donkey Kong Island. In this game, DK disturbs Stanley's greenhouses, leading to a confrontation between the two. Stanley retaliates with a fumigator pack, setting the stage for an intense and engaging battle between the two characters. In another version of DK3, he is shown with a fumigator pack of his own, which he likely grabbed to fight back against Stanley. It was at this point that Donkey Kong and DK Jr. would return to Donkey Kong Island. The next game in the timeline is Pinball. This game takes place before Mario Bros. Arcade and features Mario in New Donk City with Pauline. However, it takes place before Donkey Kong Arcade, as Mario is now sporting his modern outfit and Pauline has brown hair. The next game in the Mario timeline is Donkey Kong Jr. Math. This title likely takes place after the DK trilogy, as both DK and Jr. are together and free. However, it takes place prior to the Game Boy version, as DK doesn't have his tie yet. The next game in the timeline is Mario Bros. And Mario Bros. Classic. In this game, Mario and Luigi begin working as plumbers in the sewers beneath New Donk City. As implied by the official Super Mario Maker course, Did Somebody Call a Plumber? Mario and Luigi end up in the Mushroom Kingdom just before the events of Super Mario Bros., directly after this game, placing it as the last major game during Mario's time in New Donk City. Mario and Luigi must fight off enemies that come out of the pipes, including Koopas, which hints towards the Koopa invasion in the Mushroom Kingdom. The next game in the timeline is Super Mario Bros. and Super Mario Bros. Deluxe. This game takes place after Mario Brothers. As implied by Did Somebody Call a Plumber?, Bowser invades the Mushroom Kingdom and kidnaps Princess Peach for the first time in his adult life. Mario hears that the princess has been kidnapped, implying that he doesn't know her yet, and sets out with Luigi to save her and the Mushroom Kingdom. The game is stated to be, quote, where all of Mario and Luigi's adventures began, placing it before other adventures in their adult lives. The next games in the Super Mario timeline are both versions of Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. These titles are likely a direct sequel to Super Mario Bros., as Bowser has a near identical plan in this game to the last one, with the key difference being that he takes Princess Peach to a parallel world. In Super Mario Bros., Bowser attempts to take over the Mushroom Kingdom again, but with a much smaller army, and no transformation magic being used on the Toads. This is likely a last-ditch attempt to take over the Mushroom Kingdom with what little he had left. The next game in the timeline is Famicom Grand Prix F1 Race. In this game, Mario travels to tour Earth alone and takes part in a Formula 1 Grand Prix against Earth's top players. This is likely what gave him his love for racing and his inspiration for Mario Kart later down the line. Interestingly, Mario does not invite any of his friends, not even his brother, so this game likely happens before future Mario racing games. The next game is the sequel, Famicom Grand Prix 2 3D Hot Rally. In this game, Mario invites his brother to also take part in some rallying events, appearing in their mechanic outfits, which are later used in the Mario Motors logo. This title likely takes place before the Mario Kart games, as it's just Mario and Luigi here. The next game in the timeline is another variation of Donkey Kong. In this game, Mario gets an acrobatic stage in New Donk City, likely due to the fame he received for his heroism during the events of Super Mario Bros. This title takes place after the events of the arcade version of Donkey Kong, as it's stated that Donkey Kong is back and has once again kidnapped Pauline. DK returns, now with a tie, placing this game after previous games that feature DK. DK Jr. is also still a child here. In the game's end, Mario, DK, Jr., and Pauline all end up in Mushroom Kingdom. The next game in the timeline is the modern version of DK Jr. The game fits directly after the events of the Game Boy version, as Mario is seen lifting up DK in the Mushroom Kingdom in the ending of that game, with DK calling for help and DK Jr. running in to help his father. DK does have a tie here, placing this game after most previous DK games. And it was after this game that the Kongs and Mario finally make peace. And after realizing it's bros before happy, wonderful women, Mario officially breaks things off with Pauline. Continuing forward, Super Mario Bros. 3 and Super Mario Advance 4 mark a significant entry in the Mario timeline. In this game, the Mushroom Kingdom is in a peaceful state, thanks to Mario and Luigi's heroic deeds in the previous game. However, their peace is disrupted by the Koopalings, a group of new villains who make their first appearance in the Mario franchise. The appearance of the Koopalings in this game, as well as Princess Peach's familiarity with Mario, indicates that this game takes place after the events of the original Super Mario Bros. Game. However, the absence of Yoshi and other notable characters suggests that it occurs before the events of Super Mario World. Yoshi Topsy-Turvy is a platformer game that features Yoshi, which takes place on his island, indicating that the game is set before he moves to Mushroom Kingdom. The game's storyline begins with Bowser being surprised to meet Yoshi on the island, hinting that this may be their first encounter since Yoshi's story. The game's plot revolves around Bowser taking over his island, but Yoshi beats him and seals him in a book. This defeat serves as a motive for Bowser's future actions in Super Mario World, as well as Tetris Attack. Yoshi Topsy-Turvy's placement in the Mario timeline is before any games where Yoshi is known to reside in the Mushroom Kingdom. Super Mario World and its Game Boy Advance remake are classic platformer games that take place in Dinosaur Land, where Bowser has sealed all the Yoshis in eggs and taken over the land. The storyline suggests that Bowser may be enacting revenge for his previous defeat by Yoshi in Yoshi's Island Super Mario Advance 3. The game's story begins with Mario and Luigi taking a well-deserved vacation to Dinosaur Land directly after their adventure in SMB 3. The game's storyline states that Mario and Luigi need to recover from their previous adventure, setting the game chronologically after SMB 3. The game features the return of the Koopalings, who are revealed to have survived their previous defeat and working with Bowser once again. This game confirms that Super Mario World and Super Mario Advance 2 take place after the events of SMB 3. Tetris Attack, also known as Panel de Pan, is a puzzle game featuring Yoshi and his friends, set on Yoshi's Island. The game's storyline indicates that Bowser and his friends have caused trouble on the island in recent history, with Yoshi stating, quote, "Bowser and his friends are at it once again." The game's plot revolves around Bowser casting a spell on Yoshi's friends, turning them to his side. This turn of events could be due to Bowser's army being weakened after his previous defeat in Yoshi Topsy-Turvy, forcing him to resort to magic to achieve his goals. As the game progresses, Yoshi and his friends fight back and eventually defeat Bowser, who admits defeat, stating, quote, "I've been so completely beaten, and by a Yoshi." This admission of defeat is a significant departure from Bowser's usual vengeful attitude, implying that he is done with trying to take over Yoshi's Island. Tetris Attack's placement in the Mario timeline occurs after the events of Yoshi Topsy-Turvy, but before the events of Super Mario World. The modern remake of the classic arcade version of DK3 features DK and Mario having a bubble-blowing fight, indicating that they have mostly reconciled their previous conflicts. DK is shown wearing a tie in this game, placing it after most previous DK games where he did not have his tie yet. The game's storyline also features Mario adventuring through ghost houses, which first appeared in Super Mario Advance 4, SMB 3, and Super Mario World. This suggests that the game takes place after those games in the Mario timeline. Rain Shower Modern is a remake of the classic Game & Watch game of the same name, featuring Mario and DK Jr. The game's storyline follows Bowser's attempt to throw colored water balloons at Mario and his friends, a relatively ineffective plan that may be due to his recent defeats in other games. The game's storyline also places DK Jr. as a baby, which implies that this game takes place before Super Mario Kart and Mario's Tennis. Additionally, the game's storyline indicates that DK Jr. and Mario are at peace, suggesting that this game occurs after the first two Donkey Kong Game & Watch modern games. Dr. Mario is a puzzle game featuring Mario and Princess Toadstool set in the Mushroom Kingdom Hospital, where they work in the Virus Research Lab. The game's storyline states that Mario has been involved in some wild adventures in the previous years, implying that this game takes place after at least a few of the previous Mushroom Kingdom adventures. Peach is still referred to as Princess Toadstool in the game, suggesting that she and Mario are not yet on a first-name basis. Additionally, the game introduces Mega Vitamins, which are used to destroy the viruses that plague the Mushroom Kingdom. This places the game before future Dr. Mario titles that use Mega Vitamins in their gameplay mechanics. Super Mario RPG takes place in the Mushroom Kingdom, featuring Mario, Princess Peach, Bowser, Yoshi, and many other characters from the Mario franchise. The game's storyline features several significant elements that place it in the Mario timeline. First, Mario cannot speak the Yoshi language and needs Yoshi to translate, indicating that this game takes place before future games in which Mario can understand the Yoshis. Additionally, Yoshi is still living on his island. The game's storyline heavily implies that this is Peach's first adventure, placing it before Super Mario Bros. 2. The game also introduces Birdo and features Shy Guys as minions of Smithy, not Bowser. Some Shy Guys even express surprise at Mario's strength, indicating that this may be their first encounter with adult Mario. The game's storyline also features Gaz having Mario toys, suggesting that the Mario Toy Company may be open, but Mario vs. Donkey Kong has not yet happened. Finally, Kamek's appearance in the game implies that this is his first encounter with adult Mario, as he recognizes him as, quote, "that baby from that one time?" SMRPG's placement in the Mario timeline adds significant depth to the franchise's lore and helps establish relationships between characters in the Mario universe. Parachute Modern is a remake of a classic Game & Watch game featuring Mario and Yoshi. The game's storyline features Yoshi appearing in the Mushroom Kingdom, indicating that the game takes place after previous titles where he lived on Yoshi's Island. The game's storyline also places DK Jr. as a baby, which suggests that this game occurs before Super Mario Kart and Mario Tennis. Manhole Modern is another remake of a classic Game & Watch game, Manhole. The game's storyline once again features Yoshi in the Mushroom Kingdom. Chef Modern, another Game & Watch remake, features Mario, Yoshi, and Princess Peach. The game's storyline features Yoshi appearing in the Mushroom Kingdom. The storyline also places Peach using her frying pan that she bought in Moleville during Super Mario RPG. She used it to cook for Yoshi, placing this game after the events of RPG. Additionally, Mario wears part of his chef outfit that appears in Yoshi's Cookie, but not the full outfit, suggesting that this game takes place prior to Yoshi's Cookie. Fire, the modern Game & Watch remake, again features Mario, Yoshi, and Peach. This one features a fire breaking out in Peach's castle, which may have been caused by the events of Chef, placing this game after that title. This is also after Yoshi had left his island. Additionally, DK Jr. is still a baby, placing this game before Super Mario Kart and Mario's Tennis. Oil Panic, another Game & Watch remake, is also said to appear after Yoshi's Island, as well as before Super Mario Kart and Mario Tennis. The storyline itself features Bowser having oil, which may allude to the Bowser oil brand from the Mario Kart series. This suggests that the events of Oil Panic occur at a point in the Mario timeline where Bowser has already established his oil company. Mario Clash is a platformer game released for the Virtual Boy in 1995, featuring Mario and Bowser. Yoshi appears in the Mushroom Kingdom, as well as a baby DK Jr., suggesting it was before Super Mario Kart. And after this game, it was said that Donkey Kong Jr. has his first son, conveniently named Donkey Kong. Yoshi's Safari features Yoshi in the Mushroom Kingdom. The appearance of the Koopalings in the game suggests that it occurs after SMB3. Furthermore, Princess Peach wears her classic dress, indicating that the game takes place before future titles in which she wears her modern dress. Mario's Cement Factory is the modern remake of the classic Game & Watch game. It features Mario and Yoshi running a Yoshi Cookie factory, likely placing this title around the Yoshi's Cookie games in the Mario timeline. So we place Yoshi's Cookie next, a puzzle game released for the NES and Game Boy in 1992. As seen in the Nintendo Puzzle Collection version of the game, Mario and Yoshi begin selling their cookies, but Bowser steals them. This places the game after the events of Mario's Cement Factory, where the cookies are in production. This game also features Peach in her classic dress. Additionally, Mario has his chef outfit in the NES version of the game, which reappears in Egg Modern, Super Mario Odyssey, and Mario Kart Tour. Next up is the Egg Modern, a puzzle game released for the Game Boy in 1992. The game features a scene where Mario feeds Yoshi some of their cookies while wearing the chef outfit, placing this game after the events of Yoshi's Cookie. It was at this point that Donkey Kong would relinquish his title as Donkey Kong, as well as his tie, to his grandson, and would instead take on the title of Cranky Kong. After this event, Cranky Kong becomes a recurring character in the Donkey Kong Country series and other Mario games. Turtle Bridge is a puzzle game released for the Game Boy in 1992, featuring Mario and Toad. The game's storyline features Toad carrying a Yoshi egg as one of the presents, likely placing the game after the events of Chef and/or Egg, as the Yoshi egg was present in those games. The game's storyline also features Peach appearing in her classic dress, and the design of Peach's castle in Turtle Bridge is closer to its appearance as seen in Super Mario RPG than its appearance in Super Mario 64 and later titles. Mario's Tennis is a sports game released for the Virtual Boy in 1995, featuring Mario and his friends playing tennis. In the storyline, it features Yoshi not knowing how to play tennis, indicating that this game takes place before future titles in which he had learned to play tennis, such as Mario Tennis for the Nintendo 64. The game's storyline also features an adult Donkey Kong Jr., placing it after the events of Mario Clash. Next up, we have Super Mario Kart, a racing game released for the Super Nintendo. It features Mario and his friends racing against each other in karts. The storyline features Yoshi and tracks set in Dinosaur Land, indicating that this game takes place after the events of Super Mario World. The game features more participants than in the Famicom Grand Prix titles, suggesting that this game takes place after those games. Additionally, a grown-up Donkey Kong Jr. makes an appearance in Super Mario Kart, placing it after the events of Mario Clash. Bowser appears in Super Mario Kart, racing alongside Mario, indicating that this game takes place after the events of Super Mario RPG. As in that game, Princess Peach questions how Mario can trust Bowser. Super Mario Kart's placement in the Mario timeline is significant, as it establishes the characters' relationship in the context of racing and sets the stage for future Mario Kart titles. It also provides a glimpse into the early stages of the Mario universe's sports competitions and helps to develop the characters further in the Mario universe. Next up, we have Donkey Kong Country, a platform game released for the Super Nintendo in 1994. It features Donkey Kong and his nephew, Diddy Kong. The game's storyline features DK as a grown-up who lives on Donkey Kong Island with the now old Cranky Kong, indicating that this game takes place after the events of the original Donkey Kong games. The game introduces King K. Rool as the main antagonist, providing new lore and backstory to the Donkey Kong universe. Next up, Donkey Kong Land is a platform game released for the Game Boy in 1995, featuring DK and Diddy Kong. The game's storyline takes place directly after the events of Donkey Kong Country, with Cranky Kong getting King K. Rool to steal the Banana Horde once again. King K. Rool takes over New Donk City, and Donkey Kong gets a blimp to travel there and defeat him. Super Mario Bros. 2, released for the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1988, as well as its Game Boy Advance remake, Super Mario Advance, continue the adventures of Mario and his friends in the Mushroom Kingdom. The game features Birdo as a villain, placing the game after Super Mario RPG. Princess Peach goes on an adventure, also indicating that this game takes place after Super Mario RPG. The Shy Guys are working for Wart, and Wart is defeated by Mario and the gang. Super Mario Bros. 2 introduced new gameplay mechanics, such as the ability to choose between different characters with unique abilities, and the ability to pull up vegetables from the ground to use as weapons. Mario is shown to sleep in a single bed, implying that this game takes place before Luigi moves back in with Mario. This game's placement in the Mario timeline is somewhat ambiguous, as it was originally a rebranded version of a non-Mario game in Japan. However, it is generally considered to take place after Super Mario Bros. And before Super Mario Bros. 3. Super Mario USA, also known as Super Mario Bros. 2 in Japan, is a direct sequel to the first Super Mario Bros. 2. In this game, Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, and Toad are once again brought back to Subcon by its king. Wart returns as the main villain in this game, but is once again defeated by the heroes. The gameplay of Super Mario USA is similar to that of its predecessor, with the addition of new power-ups, enemies, and environments. The placement of this game is also somewhat ambiguous. However, it's generally considered to be between the games of SMB 2 and 3. Mario vs. Donkey Kong is a game that takes place after the events of Donkey Kong Land, as DK goes to New Donk City in this game. The Mario Toy Company begins selling their brand new mini Mario toys, and the game features a lot of references to BS Super Mario USA, potentially inspired by Mario's adventures in that game. Red Bob-ombs appear as enemies in this game, with fuses, placing it before they became peaceful, as seen in Super Mario 64 and Paper Mario. Mario meets DK seemingly for the first time, calling him a quote, big monkey, and the two fight over the mini Mario toys. This places the game before future titles in which Mario and DK are friends. Mario vs. Donkey Kong also marks the beginning of a sub-series of puzzle games, featuring the rivalry between Mario and DK, as well as the mini Mario toys. The minigame Helmet, another Game & Watch Gallery 2 game, takes place during a time in which Wario is present in the Mushroom Kingdom, although it's uncertain whether he is already known in that area or not. In this game, Wario is attacked by Bowser's minions, who are enacting an airborne invasion on the Mushroom Kingdom. The appearance of Fly Guys suggests that this game takes place after the events of Super Mario USA, once they have rejoined the Koopa Troop. The title Yoshi is a game that takes place in Mushroom Kingdom after previous titles where Yoshis lived on Yoshi Island. The game takes place during an airborne invasion, which could possibly be the same invasion from the minigame Helmet. Next up, the classic Mario Party is a game that takes place in the Mushroom Kingdom. The game features several of Mario's friends, including Yoshi, DK, and Wario. DK's appearance in the game places it after Mario vs. Donkey Kong, and Wario's appearance suggests that he is already a well-known character within the Mushroom Kingdom. Additionally, red Bob-ombs appear in this game, but they are still using their cannons and have fuses, placing this game prior to them becoming peaceful. Mario Party 2 takes place after the events of the original party, and features the crew working together to build a new land. The characters argue over who the land should be named after, leading to another Mario Party. Ultimately, Mario wins the competition, and the new land is named Mario Land. The game is also notable for introducing the pirate, explorer, cowboy, and space outfits seen in Mario Odyssey. These costumes are awarded to players for winning certain minigames and have become iconic outfits for Mario and his friends. Super Mario Land is a game that takes place before other titles which feature Princess Daisy's modern appearance. In this game, Daisy meets Mario for the first time and has her classic appearance. This game also marks the debut of Tatanga, a mysterious alien who kidnaps Princess Daisy and takes over her kingdom. Super Mario Land 2, 6 Golden Coins, is a direct sequel to Super Mario Land. The game takes place after the events of the first game, while Mario was away. In his absence, Wario takes over Mario Land and renames it to Wario Land, likely due to his defeat in the Mario Party 2 competition. Mario must retrieve the 6 golden coins hidden throughout Wario's castle to regain control of the kingdom. Along the way, he encounters Tatanga once again, who has aligned himself with Wario. Wrecking Crew 98 is a game that takes place after the events of the Super Mario Land games, as Mario returns to the Mushroom Kingdom, only to find that it's been filled with skyscrapers. This game also features Mario's house, which appears identical to its appearance in Super Mario RPG, placing Wrecking Crew 98 before Paper Mario. Peach's Castle has its appearance from Super Mario 64, which places the game after Super Mario RPG. Foreman Spike from Wrecking Crew returns as an antagonist in this game, adding a nostalgic touch to the gameplay. Several golf games, including NES Open Tournament Golf and Family Computer Golf, all feature Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Daisy playing golf on Tour Earth. These games take place after Super Mario Land, but likely before the main titles of the Mario Golf series. Peach and Daisy are featured in their classic outfits, placing these games before future titles where they wear their modern outfits. Next up, we have Donkey Kong Country 2: Diddy's Kong Quest, which takes place after the events of Donkey Kong Country and Donkey Kong Land, as DK is kidnapped by the Kremlings in revenge for their previous defeats while relaxing on his island. Cranky Kong's statement that this is Diddy Kong's first game places it before Diddy Kong Racing. In this game, Diddy Kong teams up with his girlfriend Dixie Kong to rescue DK from the clutches of the evil King K. Rool. Donkey Kong Land 2 is the handheld adaptation of the events of DKC 2, with the same storyline and levels, but with slight changes due to the limitations of the Game Boy hardware. Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3, obviously takes place after the events of its predecessor, as Wario attempts to replace the castle he lost to Mario by stealing a golden statue of Princess Peach. Throughout the game, Mario is also searching for the statue, placing this game after the events of Wrecking Crew 98. Wario is seen wearing his Explorer hat in this game, which he also wore in Mario Party 2. At the end of the game, the genie uses the treasure Wario collected to build him a castle of his own. This marks the beginning of the Wario Land series, where Wario takes center stage as the main protagonist. Mario the Juggler, as well as Ball, are games that take place at the same time, as Mario is seen juggling the same items in both games. The game likely takes place after the events of Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3, as it features a Wanderin' Goom for Wario to juggle. Virtual Boy Wario Land, also known as Virtual Wario Land, is a game that takes place after the events of Super Mario Land 3. In this game, Wario goes on another treasure hunting adventure and is still seen wearing his Explorer hat. One of the unique features of this game is the use of Wario's plane, the Bulldog, which allows him to access different areas and reach new heights. Mario's Picross, Super Picross, and Picross 2 are games where Mario and/or Wario work on an archaeological site. Mario is seen wearing his Explorer outfit from Mario Party 2, and Wario still wears his Explorer hat in these games. Mario and Wario features Wario losing his Explorer hat when he throws it out of his plane while trying to cover Mario's eyes. The game features Wario's plane, which he uses to drop objects onto the game's playable characters to guide them through various obstacles. The game is unique in that it requires the use of the Super Nintendo mouse accessory to play. Wario Land 2 comes up next, as Wario is now living in his castle. In this game, the Black Sugar Gang takes revenge on Wario for what he did to them in the previous game. Hen also makes her first appearance in this game, and one of Wario's stolen treasures is a Mega Vitamin, placing this game after their creation in Dr. Mario. Interestingly, Wario only has one Mega Vitamin in this game and considers it a treasure, likely placing this title before Dr. Mario 64 and WarioWare Inc. Another of Wario's stolen treasures is a Viking helmet from Virtual Boy Wario Land, placing this game after that title. Fire Attack, the modern adaptation of the original Game & Watch game from '82, features Hen as well as Wario, who's seen with a new golden statue of himself, likely placing the game during a time where he still had his kingdom. Wario Woods is a game that takes place after several other titles in the Mario franchise. Birdo appears as an ally to Toad in this game, placing it after BS Super Mario USA. Additionally, Wario's Castle appears, placing this game after Wario Land. The game's ending reveals that Toad blows up Wario's castle, placing this title after the events of Wario Land 2. Next up, Wario Land 3 takes place after the previous games that featured Wario's plane, as it is completely destroyed in a crash at the beginning of the game. Interestingly, Wario doesn't wear his Explorer hat in this game, despite being on an adventure. In Wario Land 3, Wario encounters Rudy and Mad Science-Stein for the first time. This game also marks the moment when Rudy and Mad Science-Stein escape into the real world. Next up, Dr. Mario 64 takes place after the events of Dr. Mario, as Dr. Mario and the Mega Vitamins make a return appearance in this game. In the game's ending, Rudy and Mad Science-Stein appear in the real world and vow to be good from now on. Interestingly, Mario's house has a new design in this game, placing it after the events of Super Mario RPG and Wrecking Crew 98. At this point, Wario has almost completely abandoned his previously villainous ways. Instead, he would take on a more complex role within the Mario universe, with more of a friendly rivalry role instead of a flat-out villain. Mario Party 3 takes place after the events of Super Mario Land, as Princess Daisy makes an appearance in this game. Interestingly, Waluigi appears seemingly for the first time in this game, having to introduce himself to the rest of the cast. Waluigi quickly became a fan-favorite character, known for his lanky appearance and quirky personality. In Mario Party 3, Waluigi destroys Luigi's home and moves in on what was once Luigi's Island, setting up a rivalry between the two characters that would continue in future games. It's also worth noting that the red Bob-ombs still have fuses in Dizzy Dingies, unlike in Paper Mario and Super Mario 64, which places this game before those titles. Luigi being forced to move back in with Mario, and an extension being built onto Mario's house, is a significant event in the Mario timeline. This happens directly after the events of Mario Party 3. Next up, we see Paper Mario. In this game, Mario's house has the same design as in Dr. Mario 64, with the addition of a green extension at the back. Goom Boss is created by Bowser using the Star Rod, which sets up the main plot of the game. Mario meets the Star Spirits for the first time in this game, marking the beginning of their appearance in the Mario franchise. In Paper Mario, you can find Luigi's diary, where he mentions Mario Party, Mario Kart, Mario Tennis, and Mario Golf, indicating that those games have already happened in the timeline. The Toad Minister, who appears to be an aged version of the Chancellor from Super Mario RPG, also makes an appearance in this game. This is a nod to the fact that Paper Mario shares many elements with Super Mario RPG, including its RPG gameplay mechanics and some of its characters and settings, with many claiming that Paper Mario is actually the spiritual successor to the game. Next up is a big one. Super Mario 64 and its DS remake take place after the events of Paper Mario. In this game, Peach signs her first name on her letter to Mario, indicating that they are now on a first name basis. Yoshi also appears in the Mushroom Kingdom in this game, placing it after previous titles where he'd lived on Yoshi's Island. Goom Boss, who was created by Bowser in Paper Mario, reappears in this game, putting it after that title as well. King Boo captures Luigi and is later defeated by Mario. This serves as motivation for his revenge in Luigi's mansion. Interestingly, King Boo does not seem to know Luigi's name at this point in time. In Mario Bros. Modern, Mario, Luigi, and Wario work together in a cake factory, indicating a placement close to Super Mario 64, as it features all three characters and cake, which Peach had talked about making in the game's ending. The game is a modern take on the classic Mario Bros. Arcade game, featuring updated graphics and gameplay mechanics. In Game & Watch Gallery 4, Rain Shower, Mario, Luigi, Wario, and Yoshi are seen relaxing on a clothesline, perhaps after their adventure in Super Mario 64, while Luigi appears and tries to disturb them all, placing the game after Mario Party 3, but likely prior to Waluigi's partnership with Wario. In Mario Kart 64, Wario and DK participate in the kart racing competition, indicating that the game takes place after Mario and Wario make up, and after the events of Mario vs. Donkey Kong. It is the sequel to Super Mario Kart, and the only karts in use are still pipe frames. The game is likely set after Super Mario 64 due to FLUDD's game order on the monitor in the intro of Super Mario Sunshine. Diddy Kong makes a cameo appearance as a bus driver, suggesting a post-Donkey Kong Country 2 placement. In Excitebike Bun Bun Mario Battle Stadium 3, Yoshi makes an appearance in the Mushroom Kingdom. Wario also appears, seemingly on friendly terms with Mario, suggesting that the game takes place after Mario and Wario make up. Furthermore, Princess Peach appears in her classic dress, placing the game before future titles in which she wears her modern dress. DKC 3, Dixie Kong's Double Trouble, takes place months after the events of DKC 2, with no sign of the Kremlings in between, indicating that this game must take place after Donkey Kong and Diddy return home from Mario Kart 64. The game also takes place after Super Mario 64, as Wrinkly Kong is seen playing the game in her save cave. The fact that Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong are both captured by the Kremlings suggests that this game takes place after they return home from Mario Kart 64. Additionally, Wrinkly Kong is still alive in this game, placing it before future games where she appears as a ghost. Finally, the fact that Wrinkly seems to have only recently finished teaching suggests that the game takes place not too long after the post-game of DKC 2. Donkey Kong Land 3 is a direct pseudo-sequel to DKC 3, Dixie is tasked with babysitting Kiddy Kong, and the two once again go adventuring in the Northern Cremisphere. The fact that King K. Rool is still using his Baron K. Rulenstein disguise suggests that this game takes place after the events of DKC3. In WarioWare Inc. Mega Micro Games, Wario now lives in Diamond City, where he grew up, likely due to the destruction of his castle in Wario's Woods. The fact that this game features a minigame called Dr. Wario, in which Wario issues mega vitamins to defeat viruses, implies that the game takes place after Dr. Mario 64, where Wario is trying to obtain mega vitamins from Mario for profit. Additionally, the presence of a micro game based on Mario Clash places this game after the events of Mario Clash. According to the Japanese website for this title, Wario secretly rebuilds his castle and moves in after the events of this game, indicating that this game takes place before Wario's castle is rebuilt. Wario World begins with Wario's castle just finished construction, indicating that the game takes place almost directly after WarioWare Inc. Additionally, after collecting all the treasure in each area, Wario gets a set of microgames from WarioWare Inc., each with an image of a member of the WarioWare Inc. staff, placing this game after that title. The appearance of the Black Jewel in Wario World suggests that Wario has gotten more treasure since the events of Wario Land, indicating that some other span of Wario's adventures occur between those games and this one. WarioWare Inc. Mega Party Games has strong ties to micro games, featuring many of the same characters and micro games. Orbulon is the same age in this game as he is in micro games, being 2003 years old, which suggests that the game takes place around the same time as that title. Luigi's Mansion is the game where Mario and Luigi meet Professor Egad for the first time, and where Luigi's new mansion is built. King Boo is captured within a painting, and it is revealed that he wants revenge on Mario and Luigi for something, which may potentially be related to the events of Super Mario 64 DS. The game also introduces Vincent van Gogh's painted ghosts and Luigi's Mansion. Additionally, Neville is seen reading a book titled Mario's Story, which is the Japanese name of Paper Mario. Herringway was stated to be writing a book by that name in the ending of Paper Mario. In the modern boxing game, Waluigi appears, placing this game after the events of Mario Party 3. Additionally, a Boo and a Big Boo are seen fighting Luigi in a boxing match, which may suggest a post-Luigi's Mansion placement. In Wario Land 4, Wario is living in the city, suggesting that the game takes place after Mega Micro Games. The fact that Wario does not have his Explorer hat indicates that the game takes place after Mario and Wario. Mad Scienstein reappears in this game, now as a friendly archaeologist, placing this game after Dr. Mario 64. Additionally, the Wario car, built by Dr. Krygor from Micro Games, also makes an appearance in this game, further linking it to the WarioWare series. The next game we have is Mario Party E. In this game, the Wario car appears, which suggests that the game takes place close to the events of Wario Land 4. Additionally, Peach wears her classic dress, and Princess Daisy wears her classic outfit, placing this game before future titles with their modern outfits. Mario Kart Super Circuit is another Mario Kart Grand Prix that likely takes place before the events of Double Dash, as pipe frames are still the only karts in use. The fact that many of the courses from Super Mario Kart's Grand Prix are rebuilt in new locations, and the characters featured are the same as in Mario Kart 64, suggests that the game takes place after Mario Kart 64. Additionally, Hammer Bros appear in this game with their uniforms from Paper Mario, placing this game after that, but before Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, where they have shoes, and later games where they go back to having green uniforms. Peach also wears her classic dress in this one. Next up we have Donkey Konga, where the Kongs are not familiar with bongos at the beginning of the game, even though they play them in Donkey Kong 64, indicating that this game takes place before the events of DK64. Additionally, Diddy Kong initially believes that the bongos could be a Kremling trap, which suggests that the Kremlings were still active villains during this period. The appearance of banana birds in this game also suggests that it takes place after DKC 3. Next up, Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, where the crows in Twilight Town reference Luigi's Mansion through their dialogue, placing this game after the events of that title. The game also features the pre-Superstar Saga Bowser's castle design. Additionally, this game is likely the first appearance of Peach's modern dress chronologically, as she is in her classic dress for the majority of the game, but her possessed form resembles her modern dress. This game is also likely Toadette's first chronological appearance, as she introduces herself to Mario for the first time in this game. The fact that she is wearing an orange dress rather than her typical pink dress further supports this. Finally, when Mario last meets Toadette, she believes it is the last time she'll ever get to see him and is very sad about it. In Game & Watch Gallery 4, Octopus, Mario goes treasure hunting underwater with Princess Peach waiting on the boat, which may place this game after the events of Paper Mario: Thousand-Year Door. Additionally, Princess Peach appears in her classic dress in this game. In Donkey Kong 64, Tiny Kong appears to be young, as she was in DKC 2 and DKC 3. Additionally, Wrinkly Kong has passed away and become a ghost, placing this game after all previous games in which she was alive. DK also has the golden bananas in this game, which suggests that the game takes place after the events of Mario Party, where the first golden bananas were seemingly discovered. The game is said to take place years after the events of DKC 2, and Cranky Kong implies in the manual that it has been a very long time since DK's last actual adventure, placing this game before future games starring Donkey Kong. In Super Paper Mario, Bowser's Castle and Mario's house look identical to their appearances in the Thousand-Year Door, placing this game before the events of Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. Additionally, pictures of Mario's partners from Paper Mario and the Thousand-Year Door appear in Mario's house, placing this game after both of those titles. Peach wears her modern dress in this game, indicating that it takes place after games in which she wears her classic dress. Not surprisingly, Donkey Konga 2 takes place after the original, as Donkey and Diddy Kong have improved their bongo skills. Additionally, the presence of a banana camera film as a scoreboard places this game after the events of Donkey Kong 64. Finally, Dixie Kong has her classic design in this game, placing it before the events of Mario Superstar Baseball. Next up, Mario Pinball Land. In this, Bowser cannot wrap his shell entirely around his body, which suggests that the game takes place prior to the events of Bowser's Inside Story. Additionally, Bowser's Castle has a different appearance in this game, indicating that this game takes place before the events of Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. Koopa Patrols appear in Mario Pinball Land, as well as the Thousand-Year Door and Super Paper Mario, perhaps suggesting that all three games take place in a similar time frame. Peach appears in her modern dress, and finally, the fact that the pinballer's ball transformation abilities are replicated by Bolo Candy suggests that Mario Pinball Land likely takes place before the events of Mario Party 8. Next up, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga and its enhanced remake, Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions, feature new designs for Bowser's Castle and Mario's house, placing it after the events of Super Paper Mario. Fawful appears for the first time in this game, placing it before the events of Partners in Time and Bowser's Inside Story. Additionally, Professor E. Gadd and the upgraded version of the Poltergust 3000, the Super Poltergust 3001, appear in this game, placing it after the events of Luigi's Mansion. Luigi's improved disguising skills in this game also imply that it takes place after the Thousand-Year Door. Meanwhile, Minion Quest, the search for Bowser, takes place during the events of Superstar Saga and introduces Captain Goomba, Captain Koopa, Captain Shy Guy, and Captain Boo, placing it before the events of Bowser Jr.'s journey. Additionally, Professor E. Gadd mentions that he is building a time machine, placing it before the events of Partners in Time. And speaking of Mario and Luigi, Partners in Time, Fawful references the events of Superstar Saga, indicating that this game takes place after that title. Professor Egad invents time travel, placing this game before all other games where baby characters appear. Baby Mario inspires Professor Egad of the past to create the Hydro Gush 4000, which implies that this event also inspired the Flood's creation, placing this game before Super Mario Sunshine. Additionally, Professor Egad uses a Nintendo DS in this game. It was at this time that Bowser and Kamek both travel in time to Yoshi's Island DS. In Donkey Konga 3, Dixie Kong has her classic design, placing this game before Mario Superstar Baseball. Funky Kong is shown wearing his modern outfit, placing this game after all previous games in which he wore different clothes. This game is also a direct sequel to the first two Donkey Konga games, obviously placing them after both. In Mario vs. Donkey Kong 2, March of the Minis, the game takes place after the events of the first game, as new mini toys and a theme park in the Mushroom Kingdom have been made based on the success of the Mini Mario toys. Donkey Kong now works for the Mini Mario Toy Company, getting many Kong-inspired toys made, including Mini Donkey Kong. This game is also where Donkey Kong meets Pauline for the first time. Mario is a well-known superstar at this point in time, placing this game well into his career as a hero. Additionally, the presence of mini Peach toys with Princess Peach's modern dress suggests that this game takes place after her classic dress games. In Mario Golf for the 64, the game likely takes place after some of Mario's adventures, as well as NES Open Tournament Golf and Mario Open Golf, while he takes a break from being the Mushroom Kingdom's busiest hero to play golf. DK also appears, possibly after the events of Mario vs. Donkey Kong 2. The game features Baby Mario, placing it after Partners in Time, and likely occurs prior to Super Mario Sunshine before the post-Sunshine sports games. In Mario Golf for the Game Boy Color, the game takes place before Kid's future appearance as he meets Mario for the first time in the game. Baby Mario also appears. The game occurs around the same time as the 64 Mario Golf, as a young Kid, Joe, Sherry, and Azalea appear. Additionally, a copy of Mario Golf for the 64 can be found in someone's locker in this game. The game likely takes place before Mario Tennis for the Game Boy Color, as in that title, and subsequent titles, the protagonists use a much more luxurious plane to travel to Mario's Earth from Tour Earth instead of a cannon. In Mario Golf, Mario, Princess Peach, and Yoshi go golfing on Tour Earth. Foreman Spike appears alongside them, having regrown his beard, and it is stated that he has, quote, reappeared after a long time, and now seems to be a hard-working, kind-hearted person, implying that he bettered himself after the events of Wrecking Crew 98. Additionally, Kid appears here in his younger form alongside Grace, Tiny, and Jean, placing it not long after the GBC Mario Golf. In Mario Tennis for the 64, the game features Baby Mario and young DK Jr. alongside an adult Donkey Kong, placing it after Partners in Time. The game also indicates that Bowser, Wario, Waluigi, and Boo have been invited by Mario to play tennis for the first time. Alex, Nina, Harry, and Kate appear in the Mushroom Kingdom, placing this game at the same time as Mario Tennis for the GBC. The game likely happens prior to Mario Sunshine, as it takes place before the post-Sunshine sports games. And in Mario Tennis for the GBC, Bowser, Wario, and Waluigi state, quote, "We started playing tennis so we could defeat Mario, but we haven't even come close to beating him," implying that this game takes place not long after the intro of Mario Tennis for the 64. Baby Mario is also present. Next up, we have Mario Party 4. The game takes place after all previous games, in which Daisy had her long hair and her classic outfit, as she appears in her modern outfit and a shorter haircut. Yoshi cookies appear in the minigame Money Belts, golden bananas appear in the minigame Tree Stomp. The Barrel Cannon minigame may serve as an explanation for Luigi Oil and Waluigi Oil brands, which first appeared in Double Dash. An item called the Gadlight appears, which is used to scare away boos and is likely invented by Professor E. Gadd, placing this game after Luigi's Mansion. Wario has lost his motorcycle license at this point, likely placing this title prior to WarioWare Twisted, Touched, Smooth Moves, and Mario Kart Wii, where he rides his bike. Next up, Super Mario Sunshine. Here, we see Mario and Princess meeting Bowser Jr. for the first time, placing this game before all others featuring Mario interacting with Bowser Jr. The game takes place after Luigi's Mansion, as it is referenced by a pianta in Hotel Delfino. It likely takes place during a time period in which King Boo has been captured, as a fake King Boo was created by Bowser Jr. during this game. Mario is famous enough to be known on Isle Delfino at this point, but it is his first time visiting the island, placing this game before all future Delfino appearances in the series. Additionally, the Flood appears to be a downsized version of the Hydro Gush 4000 from Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. Right after this game, Professor Egad sold his entire Ghost collection in a humble garage sale. Next up, WarioWare Twisted. We obviously see WarioWare Incorporated placing this game after Mega Micro games. The music box from Wario Land 3 reappears in Wario's house, along with what appears to be a photograph of the Golden Pyramid from Wario Land 4, placing this game after both of those. Wario Man is created for the first time in this game. Additionally, we see Wario and Mario making up in the micro game Burying the Hatchet, placing this title after Wario begins to put his villainous ways behind him. In Dr. Mario Online RX, the game takes place after previous Dr. Mario titles, likely around the time of flu season once again. The viruses in this title have escaped from Woohoo University during Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. It is also stated that Mario takes a break from his adventuring ways and once again dons his stethoscope for a new generation of germ-battling mayhem, indicating that this game takes place right after an adventure. Dr. Mario Express likely takes place at the same time as Dr. Mario Online RX, as both share a lot of visual similarities. It is also stated that Mario once again dons his stethoscope to battle the forces of illness in this title. In Mario Kart Arcade GP and Arcade GP 2, WarioWare Incorporated appears, placing this game after Mega Micro games. The game features Flood novels, magic paintbrushes, and a cup that takes place near Isle Delfino, suggesting the game takes place not long after Super Mario Sunshine. Professor Egad has a GAD Science Incorporated store in Diamond City here, as well as a Star Beans coffee location, likely placing the game after Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. Wario drives the Wario car here, and Baby Mario and Baby Luigi appear, placing this game after Partners in Time. Bowser Jr. also appears, placing this game after Super Mario Sunshine. Multiple carts featured here resemble carts from Double Dash and Mario Kart DS, likely placing this game around the same time as both of those titles. Club Sugar appears with its old sign, placing this game before WarioWare Smooth Moves. We can see in this game Peach's frying pan from Super Mario RPG. A blue virus also appears, likely placing this game around the events of Dr. Mario Online RX. And we also see a Yoshi cookie from the game of the same name. The game features multiple characters from Double Dash as well, but only a portion of the cast is actually playable, perhaps suggesting that the game takes place before it. Lakitu uses his race start lights from Super Mario Kart, Super Circuit, and Mario Kart 64, suggesting the game takes place prior to Double Dash. The game is not counted as an official Mario Kart in-universe, possibly because it uses character-based cups instead of traditional Mario Kart cups. Perhaps it is considered by characters to be the same event as Double Dash. A different Waluigi Stadium is featured from the one in Double Dash and Mario Kart Wii, and a picture of Mario, Luigi, and Toad from Super Mario Bros. 2 appears in Yoshi Park, placing this title after that point. The DK Bongos appear as one of Donkey Kong's special items, placing it after the events of Donkey Konga and its sequel. Next up, Mario Kart Double Dash. We see Toadette, Princess Daisy, Bowser Jr., Baby Mario and Luigi, Birdo, and Diddy Kong all appear in this game. While they all appear in Mario Kart Arcade GP, they're all actually playable in this title, perhaps indicating that this title takes place after that game. Lakitu has his new race start lights in this game, which are also used in later Mario Kart titles. Ghost portraits can appear from a level based on Luigi's Mansion, and King Boo has been released from his portrait and appears as a racer. Toadette appears as a racer in her pink outfit, placing this game after Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. And this game takes place after Mario Sunshine, as it features Bowser Jr. The game also has multiple tracks that take place around Isle Delfino. Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong both appear, with this being Diddy's first Mario Kart tournament, and baby characters appear, placing this game after Partners in Time. It likely happens after Mega Micro Games, as Wario has the Wario Pharmacy brand. The website states that the game is Baby Luigi's debut appearance, but not Baby Mario's, making this the first sporting event where they brought along Baby Luigi. The manual supports this, stating that this is the first time Baby Luigi has appeared in front of a crowd, being much more shy than his older brother. In Wario Land Shake It, Wario is asleep in his car in his garage while wearing his dungaree outfit in the opening of the game, possibly placing it soon after he's returned home from the Grand Prix in Mario Kart Arcade GP and Double Dash, where he was seen driving his car. Captain Syrup makes her return, placing this game after Super Mario Land 3 and Wario Land 2. In Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, Bowser Jr. appears, placing this after Mario Sunshine. As stated by Princess Daisy in the manual, this is her first official Mario Golf outing. Neil and Ella appear, placing this game around the same time as Mario Golf Advance. Tubba Blubba is mentioned, placing this game after Paper Mario. Bobo is mentioned, likely placing this game after the events of Wario Land Super Mario Land 3. Donkey Kong's Treehouse still has its older appearance, placing this game before later games featuring the Treehouse's new appearance. In Mario Golf Advance Tour, the human characters from the GBC Mario Golf are now quite a bit older than they were in the previous appearances, placing this game after Mobile Golf. Bowser Jr. and Plantissimo are mentioned, placing this game after Mario Sunshine. Goombario, Cooper, Bombette, and Mustafa are all mentioned, placing this game after Paper Mario. A Toad at Peach's Castle states, "I've been practicing nothing but tennis, so my golf skills are rusty. When will tennis be cool again?" Perhaps he's practicing for the upcoming Mario Tennis Tournament and Mario Tennis Power Tour. A copy of the game Mario Golf Toadstool Tour can be found in a locker in the Marion Club. In Mario Power Tennis, Bowser Jr. appears. Toadette also appears in the game's opening, placing this game after Thousand Year Door. The item boxes in this game are identical to those found in Mario Kart Double Dash. Luigi appears with the Poltergust 3000 and Vincent van Gogh's Painted Ghosts, as well as a Luigi's Mansion Court appear. The Wario Factory Court is a reference to MarioWare Inc.'s factory. Although Baby Mario and Baby Luigi do not appear in the game itself, they appear on Bowser's monitor in the game's intro, suggesting that the game takes place after Double Dash. Additionally, the appearance of critters with their outfits from DK64 indicates that this game takes place after the events of that game, but before the following games. In Mario Tennis Power Tour, Toad mentions that Bowser recently trashed the Peach Dome, indicating that the game takes place after the events of Mario Power Tennis. The human characters from the GBC Mario Tennis are now older than they were in their previous appearances, suggesting that the game takes place after that game. Unlike the other Mario sports games, Wario does not appear in this game to play tennis with the others, but Waluigi does. In Mario vs. Donkey Kong Minis March Again, Super Mini Mario World has a grand reopening, suggesting that the game takes place after the events of Mario vs. Donkey Kong 2. Donkey Kong arrives late to the opening and looks for a ticket, indicating that he may no longer be working at the Mario Toy Company and has possibly returned home in the meantime. Super Mario Strikers likely takes place after Super Mario Sunshine, as Piantas and Nokis appear in the audience. The appearance of critters with their outfits from DK64 suggests that the game takes place after that game, but before several others. The presence of a poster referencing Super Mario Strikers in Luigi's Mansion 3 indicates that this game takes place prior to the events of Luigi's Mansion 3. Furthermore, the underground is implied to have been built by Wario and Waluigi beneath Diamond City, placing this game after the events of Mega Micro Games. In Mario Party 5, the appearance of the Star Spirits placed the game after the events of Paper Mario. This game also introduces Red Koopa Kid, Green Koopa Kid, and Blue Koopa Kid for the first time. orbs appear in this game after seemingly being manufactured during Mario Party 4, placing this game obviously after that. In Super Duel mode, there are vehicle parts that were created by Professor E. Gadd, indicating that the game takes place after the events of Luigi's Mansion. The presence of Yoshi cookies on this Sweet Dream board places the game after that. Finally, Mecha Bowser from Super Mario Sunshine reappears in Toy Dream, suggesting that this game takes place after that title. Next up, Mario Party Advance, where Professor E. Gadd appears. The appearance of Tumble places this game after Mario Party 3. Koopa Kid splits in 3 in this game, suggesting that it takes place after MP5. It is worth noting that this game is the only Mario Party game to not feature Wario, and one of 2 Mario Party games that do not feature DK, which could suggest that they were preoccupied with their own games around this time. In WarioWare Touched, a Nintendo DS makes an appearance, indicating that this game takes place around the same time period as the first 3 Mario and Luigi games. Additionally, the reappearance of Wario Man places this game after WarioWare Twisted in the timeline. Next up, Donkey Kong Jungle Beat likely takes place after DK64, as it is another DK adventure. In this game, Donkey Kong's home and other areas are invaded by a band of evil kings who steal his banana horde. This may have happened while DK was busy in the Mushroom Kingdom. Furthermore, DK sets out to prove he's, quote, king of the jungle and beyond, as if he has to reclaim the title, which could indicate that he has been gone for some time. In Mario Party DS, Bowser's Castle has its appearance from Superstar Saga, placing this game after the events of Mario Pinball Land, but before Bowser's Inside Story. The minigame Bob-omb Breakers from Mario Party 4 also appears in this game. The intro of this game shows that Princess Daisy is living in the Mushroom Kingdom, placing it after her move there. The fact that Mario cannot speak the Kong language in the game suggests that it takes place before the events of Mario Superstar Baseball. The description of DK's character figurine as, quote, the king of the jungle, possibly places this game after he reclaims his title in DK Jungle Beat. However, Bowser Jr.'s character figurine is described as, quote, more selfish than his dad. But the description wonders what all that could add up to one day. This likely places this title prior to the events of Bowser Jr.'s journey, before he grows up to become less selfish and builds bonds with the other members of the Koopa Troop. In Mario and Luigi, Bowser's Inside Story, the appearance of Fawful, now older and without an antenna, places the game after Superstar Saga and after the events of Partners in Time, as Fawful dies at the end of this game. The fact that Starlo meets Mario for the first time places this game before Mario and Luigi Dream Team and Paper Jam. Bowser's castle is destroyed at the end of this game, placing all games featuring this castle design before this game. Blue shells are spread around the Mushroom Kingdom during this game by Mario and Luigi, and Bowser mentions that he's been fighting Mario for years, placing this game quite some time after the events of Super Mario Bros. As for Bowser Jr.'s journey, the game takes place at the same time as Bowser's Inside Story. Bowser turns giant for the first time in the Koopalings' lifetimes, and Bowser Jr. obtains the Junior Clown Car for the first time in this game. The appearance of the magic paintbrush without any logo likely places this game after Mario Power Tennis, but before future games, in which the brush has a logo once again. Furthermore, Bowser transforms into Dry Bowser for the first time in this game, placing it before other Dry Bowser appearances. Next up, in Super Mario... Oh my god, how many supers are there gonna be? In Mario Superstar Baseball, we see Bowser Jr. It is also implied to be the first Mario Baseball tournament, placing this game before Mario Super Sluggers and Mario Sports Superstars. Mario lights a baseball on fire without a fire flower in the game's opening, suggesting that this game takes place after Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. Dixie Kong appears in her original design, placing this game before games featuring her modern design. A large billboard featuring Swanky Kong at his tent from DKC 3 appears in the background of the DK Jungle Baseball Stadium, indicating that this game takes place after that title. The appearance of baby characters places this game after Partners in Time, and the fact that King Boo appears as a playable character suggests that this game takes place after he was freed from his portrait. Bowser's Castle appears here, with neither its design from Superstar Saga nor Super Mario Bros., which could indicate that this is a temporary baseball stadium version of the castle made during its reconstruction. Bowser thinks that the Koopa clan is in good hands with his son in this game, which would make sense after the events of Bowser's Inside Story. Finally, the fact that Mario can understand the Kong language suggests that this game takes place after Mario Party DS, as Mario could not speak that language in that game. Next up, in Mario Party 6, the appearance of Professor Egad's Garage, where Egad himself makes appearances. Daisy's character description on the Mario Party 6 website states, quote, "She's already proved she's got the swings to keep up with the big boys in Mario Golf, Toadstool Tour, and Mario Power Tennis," placing this game after both of those titles. Orbs appear, Toadette appears. The fact that Koopa Kids splits into 3 places this game after Mario Party 5. And finally, the fact that Toadette and Wario are described as, quote, "secret friends," indicates that this game takes place between Mario Superstar Baseball, where they have bad chemistry, and Mario Super Sluggers, where they have neutral chemistry. In Super Princess Peach, Bowser is spending time in his villa on Vibe Island, which could be after his castle's destruction in Bowser's Inside Story. Bowser turns giant in the final battle, likely placing this game after Bowser Jr.'s journey. Additionally, the appearance of King Boo as a boss suggests that the game takes place after he was freed from his portrait. In Mario Party 7, the appearance of the Vacuum Orb and Magic Orb, invented by Professor Egad, places this game after Luigi's Mansion. Koopa Kid splits into 3, and additionally the reappearance of Mecha Bowser suggests that the game takes place after Mario Sunshine. Donkey Kong's Treehouse still has its older appearance, placing the game before later games featuring the Treehouse's new appearance. And finally, the presence of a photo of Peach's castle in its design from Super Mario 64 in the duty-free shop on the MSS Sea Star likely places the game prior to the games featuring the newer designs. Next up, in Yakuman DS, Bowser Jr. appears. Additionally, multiple characters from Mario Party 7, including Boo, Birdo, and Toadsworth, who organize the crews, reappear in this game. Next up, WarioWare Snapped. In this, Wario builds a theme park called Wario Park, and Jimmy T. Mona, Kat, and Anna all work there. This places the game after Mega Micro Games. In Super Mario Bros., enemies, allies, and items are shown singing along and dancing to the background music, which could suggest that the game takes place after the events of Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix. Blue shells can be found in the game, Dry Bowser makes an appearance, and Bowser's new, redesigned castle suggests that the game takes place after its destruction and remodeling in Bowser's Inside Story. Lastly, we see the Super Mario 64 version of Peach's castle. In DK, King of Swing, Wrinkly Kong is depicted as a ghost, indicating the game takes place after previous titles in which she was alive. Candy Kong also appears with her modern look, placing the game after previous titles where she had a different appearance. King K. Rool is the game's main antagonist, and critters have their new outfits, suggesting the game takes place after previous titles in which they wore their outfits from DK64. Donkey Kong's old treehouse appears in the game, placing it before titles in which he has his new treehouse. Dixie Kong also appears in her modern outfit, and Ice World is present on Donkey Kong Island, likely placing the game before titles in which the island has an active volcano. And lastly, the K Cruiser 3rd appears and is destroyed during this game. Next up, we see Mario Party 8, where DK Island appears without any sign of the Tiki Tak tribe, indicating the game takes place before DKC returns. Vincent Van Gogh's painted ghosts from Luigi's Mansion appear in the Spectre and Spectre minigame, placing the game after Luigi's Mansion. Also, candy from this game has similar properties to paint in Super Mario Sunshine, suggesting the game takes place after that. The face of Bowser's Bad Breath Express is identical to the face of Bowser's Koopa King cart, and DK's Barrel Train highly resembles the DK Barrel Train cart, possibly placing the game after Double Dash. King Boo appears, placing the game before he is recaptured in Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. There is no sign of the Koopa Kids, likely placing the game after previous Mario Party games in which they appeared. The Swing Kings minigame is based on baseball, possibly placing Mario Party 8 close to Mario Super Sluggers. On Bowser's Warped Orbit, Bowser enforces a game in which every player starts with 5 stars, and must try to steal stars from one another, which is similar to a very similar rule from Mario Party 6's Snowflake Lake and Mario Party 7's Pyramid Park, indicating that the game takes place after those titles. Finally, the game features Peach's Castle in its design from Super Mario 64. In Mario Kart DS, a course based on Luigi's Mansion appears. We also see King Boo. Goomboss also appears, placing the game after Paper Mario. The Poltergust 4000 is featured in this game, which places it after the events of Superstar Saga, but likely before the events of Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Additionally, the game takes place before Mario Kart Wii, as courses from Mario Kart DS reappear in that title. Finally, the game features Peach's Castle in its design from Super Mario 64, likely placing it prior to games featuring newer designs. In Mario Strikers Charged, Bowser Jr. appears, however he cannot breathe fire in this game, unlike in later titles such as New Super Mario Bros. Wii, Mario Party 9, and Mario & Luigi Dream Team, indicating that the game takes place before those titles. Luigi's ability to use thunder in his Mega Strike suggests that the game takes place after Superstar Saga. The game is implied to take place at least 1 year after the events of Super Mario Strikers. Additionally, it takes place prior to the events of Luigi's Mansion 3, as a poster referencing Mario Strikers Charged appears in that title. Critters have their new outfits, placing the game after previous titles in which they wore their outfits from DK64. In Super Mario 3D Land, a storm blows all of the Tail Tree's leaves away, spreading super leaves all over the Mushroom Kingdom once again. Bowser's Castle appears with its design from New Super Mario Bros., placing the game after previous titles in which his castle had a different appearance, but before New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Dry Bowser appears, placing the game after the events of Bowser Jr.'s journey. The game likely takes place prior to the events of Super Mario 3D World, as Princess Peach seemingly transforms into Tanuki Peach for the first time in this game. Additionally, the game features a new design for Peach's Castle, likely placing it after previous titles where the castle appearance was of Super Mario 64. In Diddy Kong Racing DS, Diddy Kong, Dixie Kong, and Tiny Kong head to Timber's Island to help Timber defeat Wizpig. Tiny Kong has aged significantly, appearing with her current look, which places the game after previous games that featured the younger Tiny Kong. Dixie Kong also appears in her modern design, placing the game after the events of all past games featuring her original design. Donkey Kong's old treehouse appears, placing the game before titles featuring his modern design. Also, the game likely takes place after Double Dash, as Donkey Kong convinced Diddy to race in the Grand Prix in that title. Next up, in Mario & Luigi Dream Team, Starlo and multiple other characters from Bowser's Inside Story reappear, placing the game after that. In the game's ending, the Z Keeper creates a dream coin, which he then flies into, causing coins to rain down from the sky everywhere. Kamek appears to disguise himself as Princess Peach for the first time, placing the game before the events of New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Inky piranha plants from Super Mario 3D Land appear here, but are absent from Mario's future adventures, possibly implying that these games take place within close proximity to one another. Big Tail Goombas also appear again here after their appearance in Super Mario 3D Land, suggesting that this game takes place not long after the Super Leaves were spread during that game. Bowser gains a little more respect for Luigi by the end of this game, finally deciding to consistently call him Luigi instead of Green Stash. The magic paintbrush appears here without any logo, likely placing the game after Mario Power Tennis, but before future games with a logo. In WarioWare Smooth Moves, Wario discovers the Wii Remote, or the Form Baton, as it is called in the game. Wario and his friends discover that it has many different functions depending on how the remote is held. Club Sugar has a new blue sign in this game, placing it after previous games with Club Sugar's old sign. The game features a micro game based on WarioWare Twisted, indicating that the game takes place after that title. Additionally, the game features a micro game based on Super Mario Sunshine as well. In Dr. Mario Miracle Cure, the alleged miracle cure is used to get rid of viruses in bulk, much like how the Blorbs were all cured by the miracle cure in Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. This suggests that Dr. Mario Miracle Cure takes place after the events of Bowser's Inside Story. Viruses appear in Bowser's Inside Story and Dream Team, making this title's placement after those two. Dr. Luigi appears to share a clinic with Dr. Mario in this title, likely placing it before the events of Dr. Luigi. In Mario Super Slugger's Wii, remotes appear and are used to form baseball bats. Princess Peach has built the Baseball Kingdom, likely due to the popularity of baseball in the Mushroom Kingdom during the events of Mario Superstar Baseball. The game features Bowser Jr., King Boo, Baby Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, Princess Daisy, and DK, likely placing this game after Double Dash, which was supposedly Baby Luigi's sporting debut. The Kremlings work with the heroes after seeing their baseball skills, meaning the Kremlings and Kongs are on good enough terms to work together at this point. Mario can understand Kong and Yoshi here, meaning these games take place after the events of RPG. Funky Kong, Tiny Kong, and Dixie Kong are all here with their modern appearances. Birdo and Princess Peach have bad chemistry here, despite having neutral chemistry in Mario Superstar Baseball, and getting on just fine in Superstar Saga, SMB 2, and Super Mario RPG. This could be a result of an argument both characters had in one of Peach's cutscenes in Mario Strikers Charged, placing this game after that point. The magic paintbrush appears here without any logo. Once Bowser is defeated for the third time during this title, he says, "Baseball Kingdom is nothing more than a brief vacation away. Once I leave here, I'll get back to work," possibly indicating this game is followed by another one of Bowser's evil plans. In New Super Mario Bros. 2, the Mushroom Kingdom is filled with coins, possibly as a result of what the Z Keeper did at the end of Dream Team. Raccoon suits appear in this game, likely placing it not long after the Super Leaves were spread around the Mushroom Kingdom. Dry Bones appears in this game. The Koopalings turned Bowser giant. The game also features a new design for Peach's castle, and the appearance of Bowser's Tower in this game differs from the appearance in New Super Mario Bros. Wii and New Super Mario Bros. U, possibly placing this game before those titles. In DK Jungle Climber, critters have their new outfits, indicating the game takes place after previous titles from DK64. King K. Rool is trying to take over the world, rather than seeking revenge on the Kongs, which may suggest that the game takes place after all of his previous Kong-centric plans. Funky Kong, Tiny Kong, and Dixie Kong appear with their modern outfits. Wrinkly Kong appears as a ghost, and King Cruiser 4 appears as a successor to the King Cruiser 3, indicating the game takes place after the events of DK King of Swing. In Mario Hoops 3-on-3, Bowser Jr. appears. Dixie Kong also appears in her modern outfit. Vincent Van Gogh's painted ghosts and Luigi's Mansion's court appears here. Princess Peach have alternate costumes based on their appearances in Mario Power Tennis. And finally, the Magic Paintbrush has its GAD Science Incorporated logo once again, likely placing this game after Bowser's Inside Story, Dream Team, and Mario Super Sluggers. In Mario Party 9, Bowser expresses his desire to decorate his castle with stars, indicating that the game takes place before New Super Mario Bros. Wii, where his castle is destroyed. The presence of King Boo in the game places it before he is recaptured in Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Additionally, the description of Daisy's constellation suggests that the game takes place after at least one game each in the Mario Tennis, Golf, and Strikers series, but likely before the events of Super Mario Run. At the end of the game, Bowser turns giant, indicating that it takes place after the events of Bowser Jr.'s journey, and Bowser Jr. has a Junior Clown car, which further confirms this. Peach's castle in this game matches its appearance in New Super Mario Bros. Wii, suggesting that it takes place around the same time as that game. The absence of Rosalina in the game may indicate that it takes place before she begins regularly spending time with Mario and friends. Bowser is also shown using a space base in the game, which could be where he was acting prior to the events of Super Mario Galaxy and Galaxy 2. The presence of a Wiggler with the Starburst symbol, which likely indicates that he is a member of the Mandibug clan, places the game around the time of Super Mario Galaxy, where Bowser first became allied with the Mandibugs. The appearance of Bowser's towers in this game matches those in New Super Mario Bros. Wii, placing it after the events of New Super Mario Bros. 2. Finally, in the minigame Bowser Jr. Breakdown, Bowser Jr. uses a device with hammers resembling the smaller Mega Hammer, which could be the precursor to the Mega Hammer. This suggests that the game likely takes place prior to Super Mario Galaxy 2. Next up, in New Super Mario Bros. Wii, Bowser Jr. and the Koopalings work together to enact Bowser's plan, which suggests that the game takes place after both New Super Mario Bros. And its sequel. The appearance of the Junior Clown Car, and the game is heavily implied to be the first adventure of Blue Toad and Yellow Toad, placing it prior to their later appearances. The game features Peach's castle's new design. Bowser's castle from New Super Mario Bros. Reappears and is destroyed by the end of the game, indicating that it takes place after all previous games featuring this castle. This also likely leaves Bowser homeless. The introduction of propeller mushrooms and penguin suits in this game suggests that they are being spread around the Mushroom Kingdom for this time. Additionally, a clip of Princess Peach reading her letter from the intro of Super Mario Galaxy plays during the credits, indicating the game takes place directly prior to it. Super Mario Galaxy begins during the Star Festival, a special event held for one night every 100 years in the Mushroom Kingdom. In this game, Mario meets Rosalina for the first time, placing it before all other games featuring the character. The Toad Brigade also forms for the first time, introducing Mario to Captain Toad. Bowser, for the first time, makes new alliances with alien races, such as the Octoombas and the Mandibugs. Bowser Jr. also appears in the game. By the end of the game, Bowser accidentally causes a universe-destroying black hole, but the Lumas cause the universe to reset. This event has significant implications to the Mario timeline, as it establishes the existence of multiple universes and alternate dimensions within the Mario canon. Super Mario Galaxy 2 takes place during the Star Festival once again, but clearly 100 years have not passed. The Toad Brigade also forms for the first time once again, having clearly not experienced the events of Super Mario Galaxy, indicating that the game takes place directly after the universe's reset in Super Mario Galaxy, with its sequel taking Super Mario Galaxy's place in the Mario universe. Bowser becomes giant in this game, placing it after Bowser Jr.'s journey. Mario meets Lubba for the first time in this game, and Starship Mario is created as a result. Additionally, Mario meets Rosalina once again at the end of this game, and young Master Luma takes Mario's hat. During the game's credits, a cake appears that looks extremely similar to, or may very well be, the cake that the Koopalings used to kidnap Princess Peach during New Super Mario Bros. Wii. This implies that Super Mario Galaxy 2 happens not long after the events of that game. Next up, in Super Mario Sports Mix, we can see Bowser Jr. Peach and Daisy have alternate costumes in this game that are originally from Mario Golf, Toadstool Tour, and Mario Power Tennis called, quote, tennis wear. Luigi appears with the Poltergust 3000, showing that it takes place after Dark Moon. Also, Purple Punchers and Gold Ghosts, which were painted by Vincent van Gogh during Luigi's Mansion, make an appearance. Peach's castle appears with its Super Mario Galaxy and sequel appearance, likely placing the game after these, but prior to the events of Mario Kart Wii. The Magic Paintbrush has its GAD Science Inc. logo once again, likely placing the game after Bowser's Inside Story, Dream Team, and Super Sluggers. Standard carts, resembling those from Mario Kart Wii, appear in the background of Toad Park, indicating the game takes place around the same time as that title. In Mario vs. Donkey Kong Mini Land Mayhem, Miniland, a new theme park, is opened at the beginning of the game, placing it after previous Mario vs. Donkey Kong titles. The first 100 customers will receive a new Mini Pauline toy, placing this title before the future Mario vs. DK games that also feature Mini Paulines. Mini Toads now have blue spots, likely placing the game after previous titles in which they had red spots. Additionally, Miniland has a space-themed area called Cosmic Adventure, possibly inspired by Mario's own Cosmic Adventure in Super Mario Galaxy. In Mario Kart Wii, Rosalina appears, placing this game after the events of Super Mario Galaxy 2. She appears with a Luma companion here, though not anywhere else, perhaps suggesting that this is the first occasion where she spends time with Mario and his friends. Funky Kong appears here with his modern outfit. Mario, Luigi, and Princess Peach use Wii remotes to drive in the intro, placing this game after the events of WarioWare Smooth Moves. The Dry Ruins appear in this game, meaning that this has to take place after Paper Mario, where the ruins were discovered by Mario. Peach's castle appears to have a different design than that seen in Super Mario Galaxy, its sequel, or Mario Sports Mix, likely placing this game after the events of those titles. Donkey Kong Barrel Blast features bongo-powered barrel jets, placing this game after Donkey Konga. Funky Kong, who is likely the creator of the barrel jets, may have been inspired by Mario Kart Wii. The title features Kremlings as racers alongside the Kongs, perhaps indicating that they may be in a more peaceful relationship since King K. Rool's defeat in DK Jungle Climber. Tiny Kong appears in this game with her current look, placing this title after previous games. Additionally, we see Wrinkly Kong as a ghost. In DKC Returns and DKC Returns 3D, DK's Banana Cave has been filled to the brim, which may indicate that the game takes place after he received many bananas from Xananab as thanks for his actions in DK Jungle Climber. Additionally, the volcano on Donkey Island erupts for the first time in a long time, setting the Tiki Tak tribe free from their imprisonment within the volcano. Donkey Kong's treehouse also has a new design in these games. In Wario, Master of Disguise, Wario invents the Telmet and travels into his TV. His TV becomes a gateway to the dimension where the television show Wario watching was real. In WarioWare DIY, at the beginning of the game, Wario takes his TV to Dr. Krygor to get it fixed, perhaps indicating that it was broken as a result of the events of the prior game. Dr. Krygor is shown playing on his Wii, placing this game after the events of WarioWare Smooth Moves. WarioWare DIY Showcase allows microgames from its predecessor to be played on the Wii and features a WarioWare distribution center, likely placing this game at the same time as WarioWare DIY. In Mario and Donkey Kong, Minis on the Move, Mini Pauline appears, placing this game after the events of Miniland Mayhem. Mini Donkey Kongs have their original designs with no eyes, placing this game before future games in which they have eyes. The Mini Toads that appear are blue, likely placing this game after Minis March Again. The Capture Kongs in this game have barrels on their backs instead of sacks, placing this game after previous Mario vs. Donkey Kong titles, where they instead had sacks. Additionally, Pauline is working at the Mini Toy Carnival, likely placing this game before she gained the position of mayor of New Donk City in Super Mario Odyssey. Next up, Mario Kart 7. The Portrait Ghost portraits are no longer in the DS Luigi's Mansion course. The DK Jungle course has members of the Tiki Tak tribe walking around in it, placing this game after DKC Returns. Additionally, Rosalina and Honey Queen appear, placing it after Super Mario Galaxy 2. In Mario Tennis Open, a Luma is seen playing tennis with Mario and co., indicating that the game takes place after the events of Super Mario Galaxy. The DK Jungle Court features DK's new treehouse. One course takes place on the Mushroom Gorge track from Mario Kart Wii and Mario Kart 7 and has a blue mushroom platform, which only previously appeared in the Mario Kart 7 version of the track, likely placing this title after the events of Mario Kart 7. Metal Mario and Dry Bowser make an appearance in this game. Baby Mario and Baby Peach are also present in the game. And finally, the game does not take place in the Kingdom of Basque, suggesting that it takes place before the next two titles in the Mario Tennis series. In Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, the Poltergust 5000 appears, suggesting that the game takes place after Mario Kart DS. Tiki Tack Tribe Spears also appear, likely placing this title after the events of DKC Returns. Luigi visits Gloomy Manor for the first time in the game, placing it before the titles where the manor appears, and Luigi adopts the Polterpup, placing it prior to other games where the Polterpup appears. King Boo is recaptured in this game. In the Japanese version of the game, the Big Boo that appears in this title shares a name with Boolossus, suggesting that this title takes place after the events of Mario Kart DS, in which Boolossus is still trapped within a painting. King Boo also mentions Baby Luigi in this game, placing it at least after the earliest point in which those two characters could have met in Double Dash. In Luigi's Mansion for the Nintendo 3DS, Professor Egad sends Gooigi back in time to the events of the first Luigi's Mansion game while Luigi is exploring the old clockways during Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, as seen from the 3 Dark Moon pieces that are collected on Professor Egad's monitor in the bunker. This indicates that the game takes place after the events of Partners in Time, as Professor Egad uses time travel in this game. In Game & Wario, Club Sugar appears from WarioWare Smooth Moves, and the legendary Cat Dancers return, suggesting that the game takes place after that title. Characters from Super Maker-Matic 21, such as the Sumo Wrestler, also appear in the micro games from the Gamer minigame, indicating that it takes place after WarioWare DIY. Additionally, the Wii U is introduced in-universe at the beginning of the game. In Mario vs. Donkey Kong Tipping Stars, Luigi gets a new mini-toy based on him, possibly to celebrate the year of Luigi. Pauline appears in the mushroom, but her appearance likely places this title quite some time before she became the mayor of New Donk City, as seen in Super Mario Odyssey. Mini Pauline appears in the game, indicating that it takes place after Miniland Mayhem. Mini DK also have new redesigns with eyes. The mini toads that appear are blue, placing this after Mini's March Again, but before future titles which feature red mini toads once again. Finally, the Capture Kongs in this game have barrels on their backs instead of sacks, suggesting that it takes place after previous Mario vs. Donkey Kong titles. Next up, in Dr. Luigi, the game is shown to take place during the Year of Luigi, indicating that it must take place sometime before the events of Mario & Luigi Paper Jam, which mentions the Year of Luigi as an event that is already past. The game is also likely to take place after the events of Bowser's Inside Story, as Starlo was the one who was aware of the Year of Luigi in Paper Jam. The title is shown to take place around other Luigi-centric games, such as Super Mario 3D World and Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, as it is shown to take place during the Year of Luigi. Additionally, the game is shown to take place around the time of Luigi's 30th birthday, placing it prior to the events of Paper Mario Color Splash, where Huey implies that Mario is 30 years old. Finally, the game takes place after Dr. Mario Miracle Cure, as Luigi appears to have his own clinic with Mario nowhere to be seen. In Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, Captain Toad and the Toad Brigade return with matching uniforms, placing this title after the events of Super Mario Galaxy 2. Toadette is now a member of the Toad Brigade, while Male Toad is absent. The game's ending leads directly into Super Mario 3D World, indicating that it takes place before the events of that game. Captain Toad and Toadette likely first encounter Wingo at the beginning of this game. Additionally, Peach's Castle's appearance in this game matches that of Super Mario 3D World, suggesting that it takes place after Mario Kart Wii. In Super Mario 3D World, the Sprixies are introduced, and Bowser takes over the Sprixie Kingdom's castle and remodels it to resemble his own, possibly after its destruction in New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Rosalina appears in the game, placing it after Super Mario Galaxy 2, and many green stars appear, also indicating that it takes place after Galaxy 2. Mario first transforms into Cat Mario in this title, placing it prior to the events of future titles. Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, and Toad seem to meet Plessy for the first time in this game. And the Toad Brigade also appears, though Male Toad and Toadette are absent, likely placing the title before Male Toad's return in Super Mario Odyssey. These stages take place simultaneously with Super Mario 3D World, and show how Captain Toad obtained the green stars that he has when Mario meets him in Super Mario 3D World. In Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, the game appears to take place in the Kingdom of Basques Stadium, suggesting that it takes place after the events of Mario Tennis Open. Rosalina also appears in the game, placing it after Mario Tennis Open where she was absent. The green Sprixie Princess appears as a playable character, likely placing this title after the events of Super Mario 3D World. Shortly after the events of this game, Helen Gravely helps King Boo escape and Professor Egad is captured. Next up, in Mario & Luigi Paper Jam, Starlo appears, placing this title after the events of Bowser's Inside Story. Toadette also references the events of Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. The Bros attacks that Mario and Luigi had collected in Dream Team were in Peach's castle, placing this title after the events of that game. Luigi's concern about Toadette fending for herself against the Koopa Troop likely places this title before he had gone on an adventure with her in New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. Bowser's castle is given the ability to fly here thanks to Bowser's use of Fire Ore. Starlo mentions the year of Luigi in the past tense, placing this title after the events of Dr. Luigi. King Boo is in the game, Nabbit appears as the enemy of Mario and Luigi, but does briefly join them as an ally, possibly indicating that this is a precursor to his turn towards heroism in New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. Finally, the Paper Goombas have only recently discovered how to perform the Goomba Wheel move, placing this title before the events of Paper Mario Sticker Star and Color Splash, as the Goomba Wheel is named in those titles. Next up, in Captain Toad Treasure Tracker Special Episode, Toadette is shown getting the Super Crown for the first time. Wingo appears, now with a clone, and fights Captain Toad and Toadette. Many locations from Treasure Tracker are revisited here, but are shown to have many changes, indicating that these events take place after the events of Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Male Toad is absent, likely placing this title before his return in Super Mario Odyssey. Next up, New Super Luigi U and New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. The Super Crown and Peachette appear, placing this title after Treasure Tracker Special Episode. Princess Peach appears to see Peachette for the first time in the ending of this game. Super acorns are spread throughout the Mushroom Kingdom at the beginning of this game. Nabbit works alongside Mario, Luigi, Blue Toad, Yellow Toad, and Toadette in this game, indicating that it takes place after Paper Jam. In the new Super Luigi U level, Vanishing Ghost House, a metal sign depicting King Boo from Dark Moon and Luigi with the Poltergeist 5000 can be seen, placing this after Dark Moon. Next up, in Mario Party Island Tour, Peach's castle appears and shares its design with the castle of Mario Golf World Tour, likely placing these titles around the same time. Rosalina appears, placing the title after the events of Galaxy 2. When playing as Bowser Jr. in the Bowser's Tower mode, Bowser states at the end that, quote, "Jr. always said he wanted to be a hero, so I gave him the opportunity." This places the title after the events of Bowser Jr.'s journey, but prior to Bowser's Fury and the Origami King, in which Bowser Jr. works with Mario as a hero. Many stars reappear in the star-crossed Skyway board, likely placing this game before Mario Party 9. Orbs once again reappear in the minigame Spin the Bubble. In the minigame Mr. Blizzard's Snow Slalom, dash panels with their design from Mario Kart 7 make an appearance, making this title after Mario Kart 7, but before Mario Kart 8. In Mario Golf World Tour, Rosalina, Lubba, and young Master Luma with Mario's hat appear, indicating that this title takes place after Galaxy 2. Nabbit also appears as a playable character, suggesting that the game takes place after New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, as well as multiple golf courses. Lakitu's use of the race start lights from Mario Kart 7 suggests it takes place here, but still prior to 8. Additionally, the magic paintbrush appears with the GAD Science Inc. logo, suggesting it takes place after Bowser's Inside Story, but before Bowser's Fury. King Boo also appears, indicating that this title takes place before he is recaptured in Luigi's Mansion 3. Next up, in Paper Mario Sticker Star, Bowser's castle can fly, suggesting that the game takes place after Paper Jam. The Paper Mario characters are now aware that they are made of paper, and items from the real world, known as things, are now found in the paper world, indicating that this title takes place after Paper Jam. Bowser Jr. cannot breathe a continuous stream of fire in this game, relying on his Junior Clown Car to do it for him. In Mario Party 10, Bowser is shown with a Wii U gamepad in the artwork, potentially placing this title after the events of Game & Wario. Donkey Kong's Treehouse has its appearance from DKC Returns. A sign with a greeny and gloomy manner from Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon appears. Bowser forces his way into Mario's party in this title, but he does so on his own. King Boo appears, suggesting this is before Luigi's Mansion 3. The minigame Bowser Sinister Slots takes place on the Bowser Express from Super Mario 3D World, likely placing this title after the events of that game. Fruit Scoot Scurry takes place in Layer Cake Desert, indicating that this title takes place after the events of New Super Mario Bros. U. Many minigames, such as Bowser's Bogus Bingo and Bowser's Roulette Rage, appear to take place in World Bowser, likely placing this game after World Bowser's construction in Super Mario 3D World. Nabbit also appears as an ally to Team Mario in Bowser Party. In Mario Sports Superstars, Rosalina appears, showing it's after Galaxy 2. We see blue toads and yellow toads. The Magic Paintbrush has the GAD Science Inc. logo, placing this game before the events of Bowser's Fury. Mario and his friends apparently try horse racing for the first time in this title, as implied by the intro. In Paper Mario Color Splash, the photos on the Princess Peach in Mario Origami King imply the game takes place after Sticker Star. Princess Peach's comment, quote, "I know Bowser has done a lot of bad things over the years," suggesting that this game takes place quite some time after the events of Super Mario Bros. Bowser's castle appears and can fly, likely placing it after the events of Paper Jam. Luigi appears driving a standard cart from Mario Kart 8, placing this game around the time of that title. Bowser's question, "Do we have a kart race scheduled for today?" in the ending of this game may indicate that the Mario Kart 8 Grand Prix is coming up. Luigi was apparently showing Mario and Huey his, quote, "mean stare" while driving them to Black Bowser's castle, possibly in preparation for Mario Kart 8, where said stare appears in action. Additionally, Mario is living on his own in this game, placing the events of this title after Luigi moved into his own house and after the events of Superstar Saga, Partners in Time, and Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix. In Mario Kart 8 and 8 Deluxe, Cat Peach appears, suggesting that this title takes place after Super Mario 3D World. Super Bell Subway, a subway station in Toad City, and one of the cups in this title is based around the Super Bell, also indicating that this takes place after Super Mario 3D World. The hoses and nozzles of 2 Poltergust 5000s can be seen on the Luigi Gusters team logo. King Boo appears. Mario Motors logo depicts a Mario in his mechanics outfit from Famicom Grand Prix 2 3D Hot Rally. The brand Propeller Toad Transport is seen, showing that this is after New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Red Mini Toad toys appear, placing this around the same time as Mini Mario and Friends Amiibo Challenge and after the events of Mario vs. Donkey Kong Tipping Stars. Yarn Yoshis also appear, placing this around the time of Yoshi's Woolly World. Next up, Paper Mario, the Origami King, Boss Sumo Bro appears, placing this after New Super Mario Bros. U. Luigi appears to feel like he doesn't do enough to help during this game, suggesting that this title takes place prior to Luigi's Mansion 3 and other games where Luigi is a major playable character. Pictures of Peach from various past games appear on the wall of the Princess Peach, with the latest being taken in Port Prisma during Paper Mario Color Splash, indicating that this game takes place after the events of that title. The Rescue Squad, also from Color Splash, makes an appearance, further suggesting its placement. Bowser's castle appears with the ability to fly, likely placing it after Paper Jam. Luigi appears, driving the standard cart from Mario Kart 8, placing this title around the time of that game. Bowser's comment, "No wonder your cart was so slow," to Luigi, after Mario pulls the key to Peach's castle out of the exhaust pipe of Mario's cart, implies that Bowser has seen Luigi driving this cart before recently, placing this game not long after the events of Mario Kart 8. Bowser Jr. also says, "Yeah, not bad. I guess some of the things Dad says about you being tiny and stupid aren't true," to Mario, indicating that this title is where he first learns of Mario's power and value as an ally. Next up, in Bowser's Fury, Mario becomes Cat Mario and meets Plessy once again, placing it after Super Mario 3D World. The Toad Brigade appears, but Male Toad is absent, likely placing this title before his return in Super Mario Odyssey. The Magic Paintbrush now has Bowser Jr.'s logo, suggesting that this game takes place after the events of Mario Golf World Tour and Mario Sports Superstars. Mario recognizes and gets panicked by the black paint in the game's opening cutscene, likely placing it after the events of Color Splash. Bowser turns giant. The Fury Sun resembles Bowser's Spike Ball move, which he could not do before in the events of Bowser's Inside Story, suggesting that it takes place after that title. The Junior Clown Car appears, and Bowser Jr. also tells Mario, "I'd never ask for help, never ever, but I'll do anything to save Papa, so help me, Mario," indicating that Bowser Jr. is aware of Mario's power and value as an ally, likely placing this title after the Origami King. Next up, we see Mario Party Star Rush. Rosalina appears, placing this game after Super Mario Galaxy 2. Vacuums that heavily resemble and sound identical to the Poltergust 5000 appear, showing it's after Dark Moon. King Boo also appears, placing the game before Luigi's Mansion 3. Super Bell Hill from Super Mario 3D World appears as a track in Rhythm Recital mode, placing this title after that game. The underwater theme from New Super Mario Bros. U also appears as a track, placing this game after that. Yoshi cookies also appear, and the minigame Conqueror de Force appears to take place in Conqueror Canyon, placing this game after Super Mario 3D World. In Mario Party, the top 100, minigames from the first 10 Mario Parties are created, quite clearly placing this game after all of them. Peach's Castle's appearance is changed to match the original Crank to Rank minigame from Mario Party 8, also indicating that this takes place after that title. However, as this game is a compilation of minigames, it does not have a specific placement in the Mario timeline. In Mini Mario and Friends Amiibo Challenge, Peach's Castle appears as the background of Balloon Float Castle, with an identical design to its appearance in the top 100, likely placing the same game around the same time as that title. Mini Toads have red spots, likely placing it after the events of Mario vs. Donkey Kong Tipping Stars, and around the same time as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Donkey Kong's treehouse appears with its design from DKC Returns in the background of Barrel Blast Jungle, placing this title after previous games that featured DK's old treehouse. Gloomy Manor from Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon appears in the background of Moonlight Mansion, and Pauline is absent from this title, possibly because she is running for mayor or already being the mayor of New Donk City, which would place this game around the events of Super Mario Odyssey. In DKC Tropical Freeze, remnants from the Tiki Tak tribe can be found around the islands, showing that it takes place after DKC returns. Funky Kong's logo from Mario Kart Wii appears on a plane crashed in the background of the stage Big Top Bop. When Funky Kong first speaks to DK, he says, "Whoa, long time no see," and "Don't tell me you forget about your pal Funky Kong," implying that the title may take place sometime after the events of Mario Kart Wii and Donkey Kong Barrel Blast, but prior to the events of Mario Kart Tour. DK plays Mario Kart 7, Super Mario 3D Land, and DKC Returns 3D on his Nintendo 3DS in this game, indicating that it takes place after the events of those games. The Snowmads take over Donkey Kong Island during the events of this game, and there is no indication of their presence during the events of Mini Mario and Friends, or Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, likely placing this game after those titles. Next up, in Super Mario Odyssey, Mario meets Cappy and Tiara for the first time, and uses the capture ability for the first time. Pauline's line, "Thanks for taking the time to chat, it's good to catch up with old friends," implies that the game takes place some time after her previous appearances, and she is now the mayor of New Donk City, likely placing the game after the events of Mario vs. Donkey Kong Tipping Stars. The appearance of the Toad Brigade and Male Toad suggests that the game takes place after Galaxy 2, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, Super Mario 3D World, and Bowser's Fury. The presence of 8-bit Cat Mario and 8-bit Cat Peach as well as references to Wingo and the Dr. Mario and Sunshine outfits, places the game after those titles. Additionally, the Mechanics outfit and Racing outfit have patches featuring brands from Mario Kart 8. Finally, a flashback when Mario possesses Bowser shows Super Mario Bros., SMB 3, Super Mario World, and 64, placing the game after all of those titles. In Super Mario Run, a statue of Mario in the standard kart from Mario Kart 8 appears, indicating it takes place after Kart 8. Additionally, the statues of Cappy, Mayor Pauline, Wedding Bowser, Wedding Peach, Wedding Mario, and multiple enemies that were captured by Mario and Cappy in Odyssey all appear, further placing this game after the events of that title. In Super Mario Party, Bowser and Bowser Jr. join Mario's party and play fairly, indicating a placement after the events of Mario Party 10. The game is referred to as the 11th Mario Party, placing it after all previous Mario Party games. And stickers make an appearance, possibly placing it after Sticker Star. Daisy's description on the game's website suggests that she is back to ruling her land, placing the game after Mario Party Island Tour. The minigame Making Faces may have been inspired by Picture Match from Super Mario Odyssey, and horses from Mario Sports Superstars appear in the Fiddler on the Hoof minigame, likely placing the game after that title. And finally, ally recruiting and character-specific dice return from Mario Party Star Rush. Next up, in Mario Tennis Aces, Pauline appears as a playable character and sings Jump Up Superstar during her special alt, the Showstopper, indicating a placement after Super Mario Odyssey. King Boo appears, placing the game before he is recaptured in Luigi's Mansion 3. Finally, the Koopalings airships from New Super Mario Bros. U reappear, suggesting a placement around or after that title. In Dr. Mario World, the outfits for Dr. Peach and Dr. Bowser are based on their appearances in Super Mario Odyssey, indicating a placement after the events of that title. King Boo also appears, suggesting it's before Luigi's Mansion 3. In Mario Party Superstars, King Boo appears, also suggesting its placement. The inclusion of minigames from Mario Party games up to Mario Party 10 suggests a placement after those titles, but not Super Mario Party, which indicates that it happened recently enough that the cast did not want to reuse minigames from it. Additionally, Birdo takes part in this Mario Party, possibly indicating nostalgia about her past involvement in the events of Super Mario Party. Next up, in Mario Kart Tour, Peachette and Nabbit appear as playable characters, likely placing the game after New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. The game features various outfits from Super Mario Odyssey, as well as the return of the roving racers from Koopa Freerunning, suggesting its placement after that game. Additionally, Captain Toad and Toadette appear with their clanky cart based on the minecarts from Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, placing the events after that title. The appearance of the Super Bells as items and Pauline's reference to Jump Up Superstar indicate a placement after Super Mario 3D World and Super Mario Odyssey, respectively. Peach's various outfits from Super Mario Odyssey also reappear in this title. King Boo appears, showing it's before Luigi's Mansion 3. Additionally, a variant of King Boo in the game has the power-enhancing jewel in his crown from Dark Moon and Luigi's Mansion 3, possibly indicating a placement shortly before Luigi's Mansion 3. Finally, Mario and Luigi's golf outfits from NES Open Tournament Golf appear, placing the game after those titles and possibly close to the events of Mario Golf Super Rush, where they also appear. Next up, in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass, the continuation of the tournament from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and the inclusion of retro tracks from the Mario Kart Tour Grand Prix suggest a placement after the events of both of those titles. The fact that all of the retro tracks featured in the cups were also used during the Grand Prix from Mario Kart Tour and remain largely unchanged from their appearances also suggest a placement soon after the events of Mario Kart Tour. The cups based around the Power Moon, Super Acorn, Rock Mushroom, and Propeller Mushroom likely place the game after the events of Super Mario Odyssey, New Super Mario Bros. U, Galaxy 2, and New Super Mario Bros. Wii, respectively. Finally, King Boo has his final appearance before he is captured in Luigi's Mansion 3. Next up, the third installment of Luigi's Mansion. The appearance of the Poltergust G00, Boolossus, Professor Egad's research journal, and the Polterpup all suggest a placement after the events of Dark Moon. Additionally, posters depicting the events of Super Mario Strikers and Mario Strikers Charged appear on the Paranormal production floor in The Last Resort, placing the game after those titles. Toad's possession of golf equipment in his bedroom may indicate a placement not long before the events of Mario Golf Super Rush, with Toad practicing for the upcoming event. The disappearance of the power-enhancing jewel from King Boo's crown at the end of the game also places it after the events of Dark Moon and Mario Kart Tour. Finally, the reappearance of the Gooigi and Professor Egad's reference to the 3DS Luigi's Mansion suggests placement after those titles. Next up, we see WarioWare Get It Together. It takes place after WarioWare Gold, as Lulu appears in the game, and Wario's house at the beginning of the game is the same as the house from WarioWare Gold, but gets destroyed and remodeled. Wario gets a jetpack when he enters the game, which may inspire him to get the jetpack he has from Mario Golf Super Rush. Additionally, the game features micro games based on the new Super Mario Bros. U, DKC Returns, and Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, placing the game after those titles. Mario Golf Super Rush takes place after Super Mario Odyssey, as Pauline appears and references lines from Jump Up Superstar. Additionally, Toad's appearance as a golfer suggests the game takes place shortly after Luigi's Mansion 3, where he is shown to have golf equipment in his bedroom, and King Boo's absence likely places the game after his recapture in Luigi's Mansion 3. The appearance of Boulders in Ridge Rock Lake may indicate that they may have joined the Koopa Troop by this point, placing the game after the events of Super Mario 3D World. Wario's use of a jetpack during his special dash may have been inspired by the jetpack he gained from WarioWare Get It Together. Additionally, the appearance of Mario and Luigi's golf outfits from earlier titles, such as the Famicom Golf, US Course, NES Open Tournament Golf, and the fact that they have golf clubs in Mario Kart Tour, suggest that this game takes place after those titles, and possibly close to the events of Mario Kart Tour. Mario Strikers Battle League takes place after the events of Super Mario Odyssey, as Pauline appears and references lines from Jump Up Superstar. Additionally, King Boo's absence also suggests the game takes place after Luigi's Mansion 3. The buildings on the Jungle Retreat Stadium, resembling Donkey Kong's treehouse from DKC Returns, suggest it takes place after games featuring his old treehouse. The allusions to the Snowmads with certain decorations in Jungle Retreat place this game after Donkey Kong encountered them in DKC Tropical Freeze. The appearance of Boom Booms as goalies likely places this game after the events of Mario Sports Superstars, where Boom Booms replaced critters as goalies for soccer. The Spooky Mansion course, referencing Gloomy Manor and the Dark Moon, suggests that the game takes place after these games, and Bowser Jr.'s new ability to breathe fire places this game after the events of Sticker Star, as well as Mario Strikers Charged, where he could not breathe fire at all.
Like this video, and subscribe to Maker.